Hey, are we live? Are we alive? Good Lord, jump back, kiss yourself if you're alive. This evening, here on the Friday Night Live. Ew, meh, goodness. 5 by 5, everybody. Allison, thank you so much. She was the first one, I think. Thanks for the tip off. You knew I was going to ask. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope that you are well, fine, dandy. Sorry, I'm skidding in on a little bit of a later than punctual note here. It's been a doozy. And so, once again, thank you so much. Allison is in the house, and Rufotress is here, and Tiger Eye is here. Afia Raka is here. Manny, how's it going? Travis is here, and James is here. I saw you guys earlier. Thank you for even swooping in early, just making sure that this Friday night was going to be off to a rockin' start. And I've got Joseph here. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Ken, of course, is here and heard the music. You know something's going to happen when the music starts. We all hope. We all hope and pray. Vicky is also here. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. This is the best gang. The Opal guy, of course, he's here. Saw him kind of counting stuff down in the comments as I was scurrying around trying to get this thing rolling. Oh boy. Lisa's here. Awesome. Cleaning your cat box. Goodness gracious. I'm rolling back in the comments so that I can see what kind of shenanigans that you guys were perpetrating while I was trying to get the finishing touches on things. I have a secret thing going on here in the studio that could not be out in the open for a few different reasons, and it's actually the lumpy thing right there behind me in the black cloak. And so yeah, I realized kind of just at the very last minute that I needed to put the undercover cover on things and some other things that I had also kind of going all cattywampus there at the last minute. But it wouldn't be a Friday Night Live if there wasn't last minute cattywampusness, right? Am I right? So hopefully I did say hello to Cheryl, the soul adventurist. So good to see you up in here as well. And oh good. I just saw muted that Opal guy and I was like, is that me? Am I muted again? Do I have to start over again? No, nobody wants that. 4.9 times 4.9.99 is Ken's specialist assessment of our situation this evening. Melissa is in the Melissa is in the house. Very good to see you. And are you me and my phone. I should just like pop that up so that you guys can revel at the time warping happening like even right here in the studio. I actually love watching that on Josh's lives when he like starts the timer on the auction and it starts the timer like into infinity on his tablet. I just love that. I don't know why, but I do. Easily entertained, Karen, much? And so I'm glad that we have some entertaining diversions for you. I should have like, a whole little hamster circus or something like that in the background so that, as I'm rambling on about something, y'all can watch like hamsters on a Ferris wheel or something like that. That would be great. Spots in the house. It's good to see you. It's good to be here. Oh my goodness. You guys, it's like it's all just natural and shouldn't have any effect on me kinds of things in these mugs. What's in your moose? I have a hair riding sidecar there, but yeah, some soda water. I had a one walloping of a morning. I'll tell you here in a second. Stein kerns to you all and stay hydrated. And what's in your moose, guys? And spot, yes, secrets. Secrets. Not only secrets, but surprises. And we might even get a surprise this evening. Who knows? We don't know. But that's why it would be a surprise. Another one of these. All right. And it looks like Daniel is here. Good to see you. Jenny is here. Time is infinite. I like that so much. Yes. It's even, infinite is a um understatement on account that it can't even be thrust into the confines of our vernacular. Anyways, um off your rocker, but we stay for the tangents. And Ken wants a puppet show. You can have a Punch and Judy booth behind me. That's my mom's name, you guys. It could be a Punch and Judy show. I'll be Punch. She can be Judy. And I mean, but we're meat puppets, right? Something like that. And Ryan is in the house, and I did see you earlier, Ryan. And I'm glad that you have dinner going. And he posed a question, you guys, that we need to kind of vote on. Is it iced tea if there's not ice in it? And that got me thinking, that's pretty heavy. Like, okay, so is iced coffee not iced coffee if it's just cold? Like it's some of that overnight brew that you stick into the refrigerator, and then you got your cold brew coffee. Is that considered iced coffee, or is it just cold coffee? This we need to get to the bottom of tonight here on the Friday Night Live. But what else do I have for you? What else is there happening in this like crazy studio? I have got a box next to me that we're going to unbox, and it's going to be so cool. We got a chance to look at some of Blind Squirrel Rocks' fossils from their land, their property, and it was super cool to look at some of those. And then I was checking out something. You guys gotta watch Blind Squirrel Rocks' stuff go by on Instagram. Absolute must. If you're not following Blind Squirrel Rocks on Instagram right now, you probably should go over there and just do it. But looking at these horn corals that they were like picking off their land like they were lobster mushrooms or chanterelles or something. I mean, it was just so cool to see. And I was like, yeah, that live stream that I did for you guys where I was polishing the gem field chalcedony. I had actually a handful of options in my hand, and one of those options was horn coral from our friend over there, Blind Squirrel Rocks. And I was like, yeah, I'm really interested in doing like a cool little facing on one of the corals that you sent me. And he's like, oh my gosh, you gotta like hold on a minute. Let me send you some more silicified pieces. And I was like, oh no, oh no, don't do that. That would be tragic if you sent me a whole nother box of goodies. And so, sure enough, I have in my possession at this very moment in time that exact thing. And so, oh yeah, you know what I should probably do? And I'm kind of impressed that we don't have any feedback. Maybe I got rid of it. No, I didn't. Oh, there it is. It was because it was frozen. Okay, cool. So we got rid of that, and then we've got a happy birthday in the chat. Oh my goodness, I better get back to StreamYard and see what I'm missing here. Okay. So watered down coffee is a vote. And Joseph doesn't do Instagram. That's fine. I mean, if you do, it's kind of cool. Lipton iced tea on the container, but right, you don't have to put the ice in it. I guess in that case, since it's a TM, then perhaps it has to be iced tea. And yet Cynthia Foss says no, no. Technically, it needs to be iced. Okay. And I think that James feels that way as well. I would say that iced means with ice. And then, just cold without ice. All right, so I guess you're having cold tea? And, oh, here's another technicality we have here. My ice melted, but I'm still drinking iced coffee. Yeah, I see. I see that there is a conundrum here. Boxed chicken, like, or is that like kickboxed or American boxing, or did it get a thorough whooping before you had your boxed chicken? I'm wondering. Kind Stearns. Oh, I love that. It's so cool. Steinkerns and Kind Stearns. Oh my goodness, that's actually really super punny for sailors. I like that. Or any boaters whatsoever. May you have Steinkerns and Kind Stearns. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Oh yeah. And I was saying I had one really, really tough morning and night. I like those of you who suffer from migraines. I'd love to hear what you guys like to do. And those of you who don't suffer migraines, then you can pop into the chat what you don't do for your migraines and how happy you are that you don't get them. But yeah, I started getting down with one. Boop, Chris. And boops to you. Boop, boop. All right. Love it. Yeah, I started like coming down with one, and I was resisting it kind of through yesterday. I could see some of the melty hallucinations in the corners of my eyes, the peripheral waviness, and I was working like crazy on this thing that I got to finish. And one of the things that I had to cover up in the studio, and, I was like, "Oh, why can't I concentrate? And I'm having such a hard time, and what's going on?" And so sure enough, yeah, it, like, sat on my head like you know, a broody chicken and, a broody goose. And, yeah, I was pretty much up and down with it all night, and then I really couldn't get out of bed until about, like, 2:30 this afternoon, like, "Oh." And so Spot says, "Hey, how about some drugs, Karen?" Yeah, I try to not take them if I can. I mean, like, taking Tylenol is a big deal to me. So, I took some ibuprofen this morning, that was like, "Ooh, okay, I guess I have to take some ibuprofen." Oh, it's Cynthia's birthday. Happy birthday, Cynthia. 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 We'll bring out the big bell for you. That's funny. Dog hairs are went flying. Okay, so healers blow their coats twice a year. Guess what time of year it is right now? Woo! All right. That's awesome. So, are you 22 again, Cynthia? Cynthia? I'm totally blaming migraine headaches on the fact that I absolutely can't speak tonight. Dark Room says, "Ma, yeah, I definitely have to do that." I put like black tablecloths, kind of like the one that's behind me there on the project, on the windows. I have those Everbright style blinds where they're kind of like rice paper, and you always have some light coming through your windows, because that's usually me. I'm usually really into it. Boy, I was like, I can't make this room dark enough. Cover my head in ice, and alternate with heat. Yeah. So I did the cold cloth, and then yeah, I was under the covers because I was cold. So that worked out well, because head like needed the ice, but everywhere else was like, please stop that. Um and let's see, we have thirst spoonerism. What? Note, oxygen will stop a migraine. I Okay, I need less ozone and more oxygen. Is that it? Here I am stuck in the ozone, and that's the deal. And Daniel, you're so happy that you get the headaches, but not the migraines. Definitely cover my eyes with a warm cloth. Yeah, so a lot of people are warm and cold. It always feels to me like my eyes are so achy that I want to put my the cloth on that's cold. Tension migraines, back of the eyes business. Yeah, actually, Kurt was sharing some things with me earlier today about like this thing that takes the pressure off that you put in your ear. Like it looks like the little bulb thing that you squeeze like mucus out of like babies' noses, but it's for your ear. I don't know if anybody has ever seen that, but that's pretty interesting. And the goldenrod pollen is nuts, gives me killer migraine headaches. Yeah, I always wonder what my triggers are. Because I know that some people do know what your triggers are, and I know for sure that the sizing in paper or like copy places, like if I walk into one of the copier stores that has like a bunch of those fumes hanging around from the inks and things like that. Oh, I'm guaranteed a migraine, especially if there's like those fluorescent lights overhead. I'm done. I'm super done. And so I'm sorry about this particular tangent and getting us all started, but I'm literally like unfurling from the effects of it like as we speak. Those sometimes those things will knock you flat. And Vicky says I'm imagining you get patients, or we patients oxygen via a nasal cannula if they come in with a migraine. Yeah, that sounds lovely. Like anything that'll get rid of it. And what's a really interesting that you say that it's something about the oxygen and the nasal is that one of the things that I was talking to with Kurt about was that like his are very pressury and he knows it. And I was like, I don't even know what kind of creature mine is exactly, what to call my kind of migraine. It's not like I've gone to the doctor or anything about them. It's always run in the family. And so it's kind of like this is what you are and what you do. And usually don't get them very bad. I could get them a couple times a year. And so it like I always know it's coming because there's these creaking noises in my sinuses. And like you say, oh, maybe it's a sinus headache or something like that. And that would be great, but then it just turns full migraine, no question about it. And yet it's like this like weird, like the sound of a glacier moving, like, and it's like, crushing and snapping and sort of stuff. Like it sounds like glaciers are moving inside my cranium. Cranium glaciers. It's crazy. Um, and so let's see, safety sticks and beer for you, 406. That sounds like a good, if you're into more natural alternatives for sure. Yeah, and James likes to avoid the Tylenol. Yeah, you hear bad things about stuff like that. And yet, as Soul is saying, sometimes you got to throw what you have at it. And boy, when you're in the middle of one of those things, and this is the kind that like makes me nauseous, like I can't hold anything down type thing. And so, I'm like, throw whatever we got in the cabinet at it. What else do we have? You get to that like the desperate place. You're like, I don't care if it's dancing around in feathers and like covering oneself with glitter. I don't even know like whatever. And oh my gosh, really 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 special happy birthday, Miss Cynthia. Wow, that is fantastic. Applause to you. That is some fantastic tripping around the sun. Very, very, very cool. Um, and Ryan, music's so loud you can't feel the migraine. I have to do that sometimes with my sinus and tension headaches caused by your neck problems. And that's interesting too. I definitely have neck issues too, and I wonder sometimes if that might be one of the triggers because I've been working really hard on stuff. And so like kind of burning it at all the different ends because we've been summering really hard. And then, of course, we have to work really hard when play hard, work hard type thing. Ah. And I remember doctors and my dentist even recently said that coffee gets your circulation going, and so like I was trying to choke down coffee and stuff wasn't wanting to stay down and stuff. Hey Kurt, I was just talking about you in our conversation that we were having about migraines earlier. And I told them about your cool like squishy thing that you stick in your ear and you feel better. And so, are we in slow mode or did YouTube just censor me? That's a good question. And Jeff is in the house. Good to see you, Jeff. And Willow's in the house. Good to see you, Willow. All these people trekking in. Sorry that I got a late start, you guys. And so we're still kind of like chit chatting. And then we're going to get to Blind Squirrel Rocks' very cool box of rocks that they sent me. And y'all, we've been on like this coral jag. Watching Jeff and um, Josh doing these wonderful live streams with the coral. And even Rufotris had some awesome coral that he was cutting. And this ain't that. So we just have the more the merrier other kinds of coral today. And nail polish in those nail salons. Is that what makes your off your rocka? Yeah. Kinkos are my nemesis. Yes. Melissa, I used to have to we were talking about being a teacher, and I've had a lot of different teaching gigs, and one of them was doing radio. And so I was like a teacher doing the radio class, and we used to make our own books. And so this was old school, so we'd take the master down and we'd have a copy center make our books, and we'd just stuff them into binders, and then we'd go ahead and pass them out for class. And every single time we would go and get our books made, because we'd spend the time there on while we were there and they were like doing the copying, we'd go ahead and stuff the binders, and I would just come down with a massive headache. And my brother and I actually co-headed the program for a while. And my brother would be like, "You are so sandbagging." I'm like, "No, no, I'm suffering. You are so sandbagging. You just want out of making books," which, it was like a sorry, I think I moved the wrong way and we got like a weird circle of death there for a second. Hopefully we're still good. And so somebody got censored. What did I miss? Um, Oh, migraines from Febreze. Oh my gosh. And then have a couple of days of psychotic nightmares. Yes, I had the weirdest dreams coming in and out of my fog this morning after I threw some Tylenol at it or ibuprofen at it. I fell back asleep because that's like the only way. It's kind of like going into a coma, like for like a burn victim. It's like the best way to do is just try to sleep it off any way I can, and to do the hard time. And I was having the weirdest dreams. I'd get up and like need to get some water or something like that, and I was just like, what am I even dreaming? Um, and uh, this is interesting. There was a shot I was looking into for my brother. It's for migraines, but it works to reset the fight or flight for PSD. That's interesting. So it's got something to do with the amygdala and how things are firing there. That's very interesting. If you get censored, I see it spot. I just didn't go through. That's interesting. Stress is a trigger for sure. And tinnitus or tinnitus, depending on if you're a tomato or a tomato, is a terrible thing. And it sounds like Soul suffers. And I'm very, very sorry about that as well. And wow, you guys have lots of information on this. I guess we all do suffer a bit. So I'm going to have a little bit more coffee. Actually, I've got soda water in the mousse and coffee in the mug, and we're going to try to get through this. Um, And yeah, we're talking about YouTube having some pretty big issues lately, and it does seem like there's some glitches in the matrix. So how about everybody, yeah, hold the line, and if anything should, if we pop off or something, then look for me again because we'll be hanging out for a little while. I've got that box to go through. Unless they don't let us, and then I'll show up somewhere in the Discord. The Discord's been super fun, by the way, you guys. Thanks for making the Discord such a cool place to hang out. And I'd love to see more lives there, though. I know everybody's kind of got like summer, the end of summer, grab it while you can itis. And so we're all out trying to get the outdoorsy stuff done. And I'm sure that place is going to hop even more when we're all stoved up inside. So, speaking thereof, somebody's over there right now. Hopefully you guys can't hear that too loud in here whenever my Discord goes off. I thought I like turned some of the notifications off, but who knows? Um, lucid dream during weird dreams, you can take out your frustrations in very strange ways. Spot. Yeah, right. It's so weird though trying to parse like what part of it's real and what part of it's not. Like I'd hate to be like, beating up on Steve and oh my gosh. I thought I was like kicking the Fairtex bag Muay Thai style and it turns out to be Steve or something. Oh, and thank you for popping that up, Ken. Really, really appreciate that. Thoroughly wielding quick draw McMod there. um, all right, and so I'm trying to get as caught up as possible. Those guys are talking some more about the corals, those Florida corals, though. And who likes rings and who likes cross sections better? You guys, if you've been watching Josh's live streams and even Jess, you guys already know what me and Melissa know and feel about those. I have a few other folks in mind that definitely have their preferences, but we do love those. Ah, those Florida corals, though. I better take a drink of this and not just hold on to it. Doesn't work, Like if you just hold on to the coffee, it doesn't work as good. I forgot to send a link to mom with all the kind of running around trying to get this ready today. And so if you guys just go ahead and yodel into the fjords, into the canyons at my mom, that she should be here as well. Um, it just sounds like such a like if you didn't know what we were talking about, you would just not know. We got coral out of the acid this week, and some are nice. What in the world would that mean to somebody who isn't into rocks and whatnot? And uh, you know why I don't have many friends left? Is it real or is it lucid? That's great. We're your friends. And I think, unless we start getting strange messages from you, like either we're all part of your dream or you're doing really well. I'm not sure which way it goes. And I'm sorry, like not good at multitasking the reading part and the John part today. Gonna be a little bit more mellow, I think. And we've got this box, and so this box is the entertainment. I said great things in small packages, and I meant it. This is a 2.5 pound flat late flat late frat late box that they probably wonder like are there rocks in here? They don't wonder anymore. uh for my postal workers anyway, they know they get too many weird tore up boxes that are super too much heavy. um and Willow's saying when they sell their coral it'll be cheap. Well, that's awesome. So you don't have to be more specific. That's what's great is we can be totally cryptic and we all understand each other. It's just funny, like somebody who, if we were in the vertical format and somebody's just scrolling past, they're like, "What? These guys are all on acid and they see what when lucid dreams and stuff? You guys are crazy." Uh just message who on TikTok. It's certainly not my mom. No, I'm sure you guys are still talking about the coral. So, we've got this hanging out right here, and we are going to get right into it. It's going to be an amazing show. Not that I took a little peek or not, and not that the background is taken from that as well. That little slideshow that you guys saw at the beginning. I was trying to start to go to bed last night, and I was like, "Ah, I'll just open it up and kind of take a little peeky boo." And so I was looking through the microscope and checking some of this out, and that's when I started really realizing that I was in big trouble. Thirst Fast is here. So good to see you. It's been ages, and we're just getting into some fossils. And so you got here right in time. We're all on acid, sending each other boxes of rock, right? Yeah, it's listening to loud music, trying to get rid of our migraines that aren't really there because we're lucid dreaming. It's crazy, and it's a total time portal because is it me or is it the one in my phone that like we don't even know? It's infinite. Um, and so let me go ahead and do this thing, and we'll do that, and so this is the fabulous box, and actually one of the cool things I don't do all the time. I sometimes do, and I love it when it happens. But we get notes and explanations. This is my explanation from last time, and this is my explanation from this time. And I actually really like this card. Um, the explanation for the card is the knees always go first, and that's just I have no affiliation with the gym, but I think that that is awesome. If you guys know what that sculpture is supposed to look like. And then I did also bring out the other letter from the one before so that I can kind of, while we're looking at some of this stuff, narrate what it is that we are looking at, a little reminder for where these guys come from. And let's see. Yeah, it's a good one. So we'll just start off with a complete banger. This is a horn coral, and he was at first, I think, endeavoring to just send me the horn coral sections that were heavily silicified so that I could do some cut work on them and get some cool cross sections. And so that's hopefully going to be a show here in the very near future. I'll get the saw going and cut some of these into rings. Rings. um and shoot, maybe a cross section or two. But for these, I mean, I love the way that these look down the middle, and some of them are kind of more superstars than others because of the same reasons that the guys from Florida can either have a lot of agatization or they get kind of filled up with debris and you get a little less sexy of a subject. But Blind Squirrel Rocks also couldn't make it onto the live stream for this particular one. And so I was thinking how cool it would be to have them on as a guest for a live stream, and perhaps we can go over some of the cut material together and they could tell us in their own words how they come across this stuff and some more in-depth stories about it. It's yeah, like big chunks of these horn corals. Like I said, some of the ones that I saw in the picture, they that I was like, oh my gosh, were like I said, like chanterelle, trumpet mushroom sized beauties. And so I was having a little bit of fossil envy. You guys know me. And so I'm gonna actually get this in more of presentation mode, and then we'll talk about some of these words here. And let's see, squirrel is from northern Indiana, is Jeff's vote. And you are absolutely right about the Indiana part. Um, and so actually I'm gonna venture to do some multitasking. And so there are, of course, these fossils, these horn coral fossils that he sent me, and then also these chert tiles, chert tiles. It sounded like sure tiles, and it sounds like rutile, but like on a T-shirt or something like that. And so I thought maybe I should uncouple those words for you, unless you've got the closed caption on, and then maybe that made a little bit more sense. Not entirely sure, but we've got these coming from Blind Squirrel Rocks' property. And he's amassed quite a collection over the last few years. There's an interestingly cherty center of one of the horn corals. And let's see, yeah, there horn coral segments permeate from their creek beds that they have on the property. And there's the chert ooze layer, and there are brachiopods. And so I looked it up, and it turns out that these are Mississippian. And so any of those of you who are uh, good with that period of time, then you're going to recognize these things. And Bob's Rocks is in the house. Salamani Reservoir in in Indiana. That sounds very cool. Now, this is one of the ones that we've got to thrust underneath the microscope. I am so enamored with this. And I was looking up what the different kinds of corals were last night. Again, I think it might have been a lucid dream, or, fever haze, or whatever was going on. But I was trying to find out what we have here, because it looks very much, and this is actually what was going on in your slideshow at the very beginning of the show. I just took some close pictures of this, but you can see from this vantage point, look at all of that druzy. Moving it around a little bit so you can see the sparkles, but like every single one of these cavities is completely druzy encrusted. And if he had sent me two identical specimens like this, then I probably would be cutting this. But I'm a little afraid to cut this into like slablets, because this is the onlyest one, and I love it so much as a specimen. Look at how ornately drusified this guy is. I'm sorry, I'm like um getting it a little bit out of focus there. It's so cool. And so did I say hi to Bob's Rocks? I hope I did. And Opal Guy would like to be enameled or enamored or whatever. Yes, ooh, sparkly for sure. And my computer is talking to me. How very, very nice. I'm glad that we're safe from all the things that could be attacking the computer right now. Thank you so much for checking in, computer. And my best horn corals, let's see, let's do this. My best horn corals came from Joe Parathner Highway, just north of Elizabethtown. Cool. I think that the horn corals are absolutely so cool because they're so darn big. It's just neat to be holding on to some of these corals, like the Florida corals that are just so big and beefy. They're so neat. Well, encrust my cavities. Yeah, right. And Lady Diane says the only horn coral that I have is pink. And, I've seen the pink coral, like, when I was doing the, investigations, both the last time that I had his box on the show from a different box, and then this time, is that these horn corals, that he is sending me aren't. And it looks like this is, like, maybe a group of different corals. Does anybody have a guess as to what we're seeing? And boy, howdy, you're asking all the right questions. This is definitely going under the microscope tonight, like in moments. We'll go ahead and take some more out of the box, and then we'll shove this thing under the microscope, and get that window up, and that all set up. And guess what, you guys? I charged up the UV light. So I didn't get to UVing this particular specimen last night, and so this is gonna be so fun. We're gonna have a light show, YouTube willing. um, and here's another one. So you guys are getting that we've got a fair number of variations on the theme. And so I definitely have a few that are like these are 100% silicified, I think. No, there's like some dusty parts that look like there's shell still, or calcite or what have you. But I mean, these are so gemmy that they're going to be so much fun to cut. And then I've got some that he sent me that are a little bit more churty and a little bit more mysterious. Like, was this like one of those, what is it? A s- oh, not the horn coral, but it looks uh like staghorn. Maybe a staghorn coral. Maybe my mind is fighting it because it shares that word together. But this looks like the kind of coral that grows in trunks and has like nodes that go off in directions like trees. And so, anyways, and that one's churted out instead of being silicified like the horn corals. And so you got to wonder about that. And here's some of that chert now. And this one has more of like, compressed mud disposition. And so that is definitely a really, really good indicator of what a lot of his baked material is. This so the Mississippian, you guys might help me in the chat. I believe that's like 260 million years or something like that. Or there's a time zone, obviously 290, something like that. Those numbers are kind of ringing around in my head. I'm gonna make this wet really quick because I have a feeling it's a little bit more of a superstar if it's a little wet. And of course, my water bowl is still underneath my desk where it belongs. And um, just also catching up in the chat. And Lady Diane is talking about so many rocks. There's boxes and boxes waiting to cut. That sounds so exciting. And Bob's Rocks, you better believe it. We've definitely got a cut situation here. Where's Randy with the cuttings? Um, so that is what this chert looks like wet. It is definitely looking more yellow in the picture. There's a fair amount of gold yellow in it, but it's got a yellow cast to it. And that's because I think that the light that I have a shining at me is a little bit more on that note, as opposed to like a kind of more of a like a natural light than the kind of fluorescent or LED bright white or bluish. It's so cold. It always makes a person look like a cadaver. 360 to 300. Oh my gosh. And so not in the 200s at all. And so yeah, that's some old stuff. What am I thinking of then that was in the 200s that they might talk about as well? Because I was looking at some of the particular area, and perhaps they have. Well, of course they would have an array. If it goes back as far as that, then they would also have some of the stuff that's from a little bit more recent. And so this guy also, more colored chalcedony in here as far as what it is mineralized in. And that was a Druzy pocket back there. And some of these pieces just boasted this stupid, beautiful Druzy that, has some different hues to it, a lot of blue. As well as some nice yellow and a tea chert. Now, is that a hot tea or an iced tea? And look at this guy. What kind of coral is this? Check that out. How beautiful is that? Fully silicified. Stuff like this makes me like, oh, maybe I need to polish the bottom here and leave the top rough, and so it looks like the super cool specimen, and then you pick it up and you get to see like all of the super fun of that. Is such a cool composition. I just love that. And looks like you can find a lot of crinoid fossil beads from the natives out in Elkhorn. Oh, neat. Yeah, you could only imagine how much trading of this sort of thing, how wonderful these things are. And a coral fossil. And hello, Zen. Fennec fox. Oh, hello. I love that. I know what a fennec fox is. Those are the coolest foxes, I think, among foxes. Oh, check your email, buddy. And Theo's in the house. Thank you, Theo. Sticks and stones, Theo. Everybody should be happy to see our guy that's like cruising speedily towards some serious nuptialities. So exciting. And so yeah, like I said, thank you for joining us. And that was some beautiful coral. Absolutely love that. And so I want to go back because I don't want to miss anything. That's Carboniferous. The actual Mississippian is 359 to 323. Awesome. Thank you so much. Because that's what what the price or the time range was. All of a sudden I'm fantastically distracted. And so dudes, we've got some, so I have to divert here for just a moment, because this is just too spectacular and incredible to wait another moment for. But what have we here?
My name is Wayno, and I'm here with my mail order bride.
What? What? This is the mail order bride?
We're like together on the same screen. How nuts is that?
That is so weird. Like, we were talking about bending all space and time before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that there are special warps happening. And
we're
looking at
Rookie
one.
literally time traveled. He left. He left on the 16th in Australia, flew 23 hours, and arrived on the 16th, earlier than he left. It's
Those
wild.
are mad skills, Jesse.
I know. I haven't slept in like 48 hours.
Well, you're perfect.
Instead of being responsible, we're here at the river.
So,
I'm taking him back to him so he can sleep very soon. Because you can watch in real time as his brain is literally like shutting down. Like there's going to be catastrophic failure here soon if we don't get him a bed.
Aw. Well, you could carry him home.
Yeah,
I'm only little.
yeah. Actually, yes, there's a hot. Yeah.
Well, it is so
Are you standing
cool.
on the road?
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm not.
You're not.
It's not my fault.
Jesse, are you bending your knees? You're squatting down, right?
Not at all. No, I thought Theo was standing on a rock. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Well,
Not my
Jesse,
fault.
it is
I'm
so
really short.
good to see
Hey,
you.
You're not as short as Derek. Derek will be shorter.
Derek could be watching this.
Derek knows he refers to himself as a hobbit.
Yeah, okay.
So
Sorry, we've hijacked the thing.
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to like just
Oh, no,
break in,
no. You guys can hijack anytime. Low
just
jab, whatever.
ruthlessly break in and hijack your entire show here. But
Well, I thank you guys for showing up and for having a lucid dream with all of us here.
yes,
in
mostly lucid dream. Yeah,
Yeah. This is all a
like
dream, Jesse.
50%. I'm here. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no. So we were gonna go to the museum today, and then we made the mistake of going to the shop. So we had like 2 hours of show and tell, and then by the time we were done, we were like, "Yeah, we literally will not get there before they close." So
Yeah.
so tomorrow we're going.
Like talk about like the pit of the shop. Like you can't just walk into the shop and okay, let's go.
No, it's insane. Like, yeah, Kim always says that my shop is like her favorite place on the planet because everywhere you look, there's about 30 things to get distracted with. So, yeah, every time she comes over for 5 minutes, she leaves after like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm just dropping by. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It never happens. So,
no, you're not.
and you'll get to see the shop soon.
Yes, I will. And Rookie, yay!
Yeah, in person.
Yeah, live and in person. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Kyle and I were talking. We need to do like a live, like physical podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely nuts. Like, I don't know if, like, the chat right now, I don't know if they can handle it. Can you handle it?
Yeah.
It's
going to be awesome, you guys. I'm so excited. There's going to be like 14 days of videos to come. We're still figuring out the logistics, but I do believe the wedding will be live streamed. So.
Wow. Yeah.
So you can all come to the wedding. You're all invited to the wedding.
It's so cool. With an advent calendar ahead of it of live streams. Like,
yeah.
You mean I could have watched it from home?
Yeah, you didn't actually need to come here. Well, you could have just tuned in from home, but we could have just put like your Zoom call phone up on the stand next to all the other girls. There we go. He fixed it. He fixed it. Shit.
Right, on a skateboard. Yeah. But I bought new shoes. Darn it.
So I'm so excited to share all the adventures to come with you all. You have adventures as well.
After sleep.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah.
After
we need to
sleep.
get you sleep.
Yeah. All right. Well,
because we were like, let's go to the museum, and that failed. And I was like, what do you want to do? And he's like, whatever. And instead of being responsible and saying you should probably get an early night's sleep and rest, I'm like, how about we go to the mountains and look for rocks? Like, okay. So we did, yeah. So I took him up to the Priors where we found fossils, and he found a crazy piece of selenite.
Well, no, you did, but I got it.
That's true. I guess that is true. I found it and donated it to Ricky.
Always okay. Yeah.
Plus, I'm closer to the ground.
What's that?
I'm closer to the ground, so he sees it, I get it.
That's right. Sniper. That's awesome.
Right.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for checking in.
I know, I'm gross. It's humid. We're like right by the river, and it's like the sun's coming down, and that's when it like the humid bomb happens in Billings. So yeah, I should probably take my the Australian I ordered back to his house so he can sleep.
Right before dew point kills you both. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I told him
To sleep for like 12 hours.
so we'll see what happens.
Before I turn back into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, and I can
Funny.
see you, Theo, like looming over him. Are you awake yet? Here's
Yeah,
some tea.
time
Wait.
to go, Ricky.
Come on. Yeah.
It's so funny. He was like, when we picked him up, he's like, my accent's already starting to go away. I don't like this.
Yeah.
You're gonna be Merc, and I'm
You're
telling you,
ready to
Ricky,
go home with your heart.
It's going away really quickly.
that's crazy. You're one of us. One of us.
Because I was born in the States, and like whenever I come back over, it takes like a day or two, and then it's not fully gone, but it goes. It's pretty quick.
Wow. And then you're gonna
He
get
didn't
back
say a
to.
soft R at one point. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. It really is going away quickly.
Aw. Well, we'll get you back to Aussie land, and then Theo, when he goes out there, you can like pick up the accent, right?
He'll pick up. We'll make him pick up. He'll be saying "Oi, nah" in no time.
I mean, I already
Right?
say that, to be fair, but the funny thing is Alexis picks up accents like really fast. So I guarantee she will leave New Zealand with a Kiwi accent. Like, she may pick one up while we're in Australia, but I can almost guarantee she will sound like a Kiwi when we get home.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your craziness and your mail order bride with us, Wayno.
Of course, and there will be more to come. I'll check in multiple times. Like you said, he's going to go live a few times. Yeah. I'm going to go live a few times because the wedding is 11 days away, and Alexis still has not made my wedding ring yet, so that needs to happen.
Oh, wow. All right.
We
Yeah,
were
we got
planning on doing that live, so.
Nice.
The live
No
is a
pressure.
buffer so she can't get mad at me because she gets really mad when things don't work perfectly immediately.
We're all the buffer for you, the intermediaries.
Yeah, exactly. So there will be more lives coming soon from both of us. Yes, and I'll probably if Karen does a live on Friday, I'll crash that probably.
Sweet.
I don't know if I was invited. I guess I just decided that.
It's all crash all the time.
Yeah.
110%. Yeah.
Oh, and we'll be going live in a week, all together probably. I'm leaving it at that. So be confused and excited.
Yes. 110%. All right, you guys. Well, make it back safe. Hope you get some sleep. Jesse, thank you so much for coming on, you guys.
Yeah, of course. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Cheers. All right. Well, that was great. Late breaking news. Thank you so much, everybody, for sitting towards through that crazy special segment. And we will get, I'm sure, more information from those guys as they share more of their travels with all of us. It's gonna be so crazy with those guys. All right, back to this bit of fossil-y goodness. Boop, boop, Chris. Thank you. We love the awesomeness of Rookie Rockhound actually being in the United States. I mean, that is news. That's some crazy stuff right there. And here is a nice bit of Kachonki coral, and this one seems a little less silicified. And so we've got some definite like different qualities here. Look at this one. This is like very, very silicified, like all of it. And I find bone very much the same in our fossil record here at the beach, where some of the pieces have some bone left, and it's been like somewhat permineralized, but not say silicified. And these are just entirely silicified subjects. I think that this one is the one that we are using for the glowy background that is what we're in front of right now. And then you guys got to see it on the intro. And let's see. Talking squirrel. Who's talking squirrel? Talking to squirrel? And Here we go. Um, and Zen didn't get the email. Yeah, it was that invitey thing. So here's another one of these corals that look like the other one, you know, kind of like in this cool honeycomb structure. Did anybody come up with the name of this particular kind? I absolutely love it. And what's interesting about these guys is that we have some out here that look so similar. We are Miocene, so we're quite a bit younger at only the, you know, mid say teens of the millions of years old. And we're talking about, you know, several like 3 million years old here, but you know some things are hard pressed to change, like stromatolites, right? We was squirrel talking behind my back. I can't believe it. Well, I'm distracted. I turned my back on you guys for just a second. You squirrels and hamsters in the carnival behind me on the Ferris wheel. How dare you? Um, and we could be yelling at you in chat, like claiming a loaded board. No kidding. Yeah, well, I was just a little distracted. I mean, how cool. Like Theo and Rookie broadcasting from the Yellowstone. I mean, that we all got to go there, and it wasn't a fever dream, wasn't a one of our migraine moments. I have to love that. Uh, Favosites. It is favosites. Nice, thank you. Or is it favosites? I know that sometimes in the Latin we say it differently. So favosites sounds like how you'd say it. Merkin, and favosites might be the proper Latin if we were going for that sort of nomenclature. And I'm hoping I didn't miss too much stuff back there now too. Now that you guys say that you were speaking squirrel behind my back and shouting at me, I'm wondering. Now you got me curious. A suggestion says, Willow, maybe get it like a retail counter. Get it. I'm wondering if this is for me. Let's have a look. Like at a jewelry store, and everything halfway worth money can't be molested by a dirtmonger. I don't know what that's for or from. Um, it sounds like maybe somebody was fawning over somebody's rocks that maybe they weren't invited to be so close or intimate to. Did I have some bad touches happening in the comments there in the chat? So this one's a little charity-licious, sure. And a lovely, you know, most of this is horny, right? Oh, maybe this is our background. I lied. This is the one. This is so cool. I tossed this one underneath the microscope and then put the black light on it, and yeah, that was a good show. And I wasn't too far gone at the time to not really enjoy it. And then you guys can see like the crystally goodness. I think that's probably one of the reasons why I put it underneath the microscope. I'm moving it around, and I don't know if the fidelity of YouTube is capturing it, but you know, especially if you drew a line straight from my thumb forward at the bottom right hand part of that fossil, there's just like a ton of crystal action, just shouting and sparkling and being glitterific. And so that's pretty darn cool. And Kyle's in the house. Goodness gracious, that was for me. Okay. Oh, that's right. How was the show? Oh my gosh, Kyle. How was your show, dude? I've been meaning to ask you. I wanted to PM you, but then I figured you were probably sort of busy. Well, at least I was hoping that you'd be too busy to chatter with the likes of me. Plus, I was kind of coming down from the migraine fever dream thing. And thank you so much, Lady Diane. And I'm sorry that you're not feeling too hot either, Lady Diane. We all need to get better. Favosites. Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. Definitely appreciate the hooked on phonics version. We all need that in our lives sometimes. And oh yes, definitely a glimmer in Sonia. Sonia, did I say hi to you? Gosh, y'all, thank you so much for hanging on with me. I'm a little less than on point today, and yet today is such a fun celebration since we get to see friends from across the oceans and stuff like that, and friends from 3,000 or 300 million years ago, 1 million. Yeah, she doesn't even know what she's talking about, but it's all good. It's all pretty. And so we're almost done with this here box. And we are going to get this underneath the microscope with a black light. And okay, the first day did with some theft, I see, and didn't catch who did it. And it's probably a good thing that you didn't catch who did that, Kyle. All right, first of all, public service announcement. Don't steal from, from anybody, but especially don't steal from folks that show up for a show. You're stealing money from them. How dare you like walk up and just take stuff from people? It's not like we can cover it, from artists and vendors and folks that are like at a fair or a show like that. How dare you? So, my goodness. Hey, Spot, like, weren't we supposed to be thrashing and fighting things? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so here's a neat trace fossil in to the left. That's super cool. I think we should spy on that. And anybody who has an idea of what trace fossil that could possibly be, I would love for you to put that up. And there's a through and through right here. It goes right through this hag hole. How crazy is that? And it's been preserved in Chert. And I'll let it out that this actually is druzy encrusted as well. You can't really see it here because the druzy is really little, but it is so cool. So we definitely that goes in queue for the microscope as well. This one I was wondering also about. It looks stromatolitic, somewhat, don't you think? I don't know if that's even a word, but I just made it be one. I mean, that looks like layersy, like how you'd expect something like that would be. Or perhaps it's another kind of coral that grows in that structure. Maybe we need a closer look to see if we have cellular structure in those little layers. So that one's a cool one. You tell them, Karen, you're right. Squid fossils, that would be super neat. It's interesting as far as what does and doesn't happen with soft tissues like that. And ooh, you have a trail camera so you can see who it is. Are you gonna post a picture? I mean, how interesting. Or you could just like run off copies of the face and like have it be at the at your booth, a wanted poster. That would be so great. Sponge fossils, interesting. Again, with like the soft tissues, it's so cool when you get any kind of a trace or anything from those guys. And yes, Cheryl, right? We already take a hit by selling at minimum price because it's like not a great market right now anyway for any of us. We're all getting hit hard by that stuff. You don't need the rocks that bad, Or if you need a miracle rock, if you need something for free, why don't you ask for it? You know? Take up the whatever it takes to the fiber to put a face on it. I don't know. Oh dear, I got ruffled. I'm sorry, guys. All right, I'm going to show these guys wet, and so those are that'll be coming in a second. I'm going to duck down and get some water. But there's this guy who's also different, and I thought that this was interesting. There was something called litho something, as far as the corals went, and some of these guys reminded me of it, but now I can't remember because it's all jumblified from my sleepless night and weirdness. This looks like a stone strawberry to me also. I would love some fruit right now. Some fruit and some either cold or iced beverage like coffee or whatever. And here's another guy that looks a lot like a stromatal guy. Um, and that trace could be a bryozoa impression. Very cool. We're going to take a closer look at that for sure. So pretty. On page, right, 1004 of the Karen Dictionary. Yeah. You know that there's a deep number of things in that lexicon too. You are right. I didn't have it set up when it happened. I'll set it up now and leave it up. Yeah, yeah, I think you should. And it would be so cool to make a wanted poster, dude. If you need some help with the graphics, shoot it to me and I can shoot it back to you. I'm not kidding you. I'll do it. Like I'll do the graphics and then you can maybe copy it off or whatever. That would be cool. And oh no, this is really, you guys, I'm sorry. I did promise you tangents beyond your wildest dreams. It was Mehmet's beads too. And of course, he's going to pay for it, because they went missing. And you know what? That really chaps my butt. It does. So, hey, Kyle, I know that you're not doing lives or anything like that, but I would like to go ahead and, at least like, I don't know how many, but I'll buy your side of like a couple of those beads. I definitely like would help you out with that. It just is really, really upsetting that that happened to you. You can like invoice me. I'm just chapped. Okay. That's really upsetting. So anyways, back to this. So we have looking very, very much like a stromatolite or something like that again. And so I'm tempted, like, who thinks that we should cut this? I mean, it's a super cool specimen, and I would leave it whole if we thought that, wow, this is just too cool to cut. I can leave the other one whole, and we could maybe see, what wild world happens from within this guy. I'll let you guys vote on that. And let's see. Fish scales fossilized would be a really, really cool thing. I've definitely got some of those with the Kemmerer ones. And that's I don't know. I don't know about that shape, Zen. It's interesting. And Jared's video on the 4K microscope. I missed that. Was that from the most recent video that he did on that those digital microscopes are getting better? Because I've been meaning to watch that, but I have to say I am so behind right now with so much stuff going on. And Kyle says he's got his neighbor's help, which is awesome, and super nice guy. That's really awesome that you've got some good happening along with the bad, because I was a gallery owner. I had my own shop, brick and mortar, and some stuff did leak out of that place, and it used to make me so angry because they were stealing from people. You're not stealing from a business, you're stealing from people. It's like you walk up to somebody and you like take a necklace right off of their neck, or walk into their home and take one of their pieces of artwork off of their wall. I mean, how dare you? I'm sorry. Diatribe over. Goodness gracious, I usually don't get heavy or whatever. So anyways, that's that piece of beauty, and we are almost to the bottom of the box. Oh, I said I was going to get the chert wet, so let me have the chert hit the bowl. Hold on. Instead of the fan. All right. And I vote for whatever one is winning. Yeah. That sounds good. Oh, and here we go. Look at that. So Can you see all of the craziness in those layers? You can see some kind of big stuff like a zipper looking thing in the upper right-hand corner, and then there's some in the left, almost, lateral to the left, and then there's a whole layer that's kind of darkish beneath that. And again, not knowing what the fidelity of your picture is, but it is just a flippin' riot in there. Like, you've got some cars pulled over from the freeway, like a bus or something, and then you've got like a whole freeway in that layer of just a huge amount of fossil traffic. It is so cool. So we're going to look at this guy underneath the microscope because there is just so much going on in there. And this is another piece, and he says that it just, like, see how angular that is? It just breaks naturally. It cleaves naturally in these incredible. He does not have a saw. And so, like, look at these planes. Those are like perfect planes. That's practically a perfect 90-degree angle, and it's most certainly, smoother than a lot of cuts even. And so it's pretty neat that these pieces are created this way. This is not a slablet. This is not something he cut. This is naturally how he finds them as float on his property. How cool is that? And this guy should also have some fossily goodness in there. You can see like different colors and some polka dots and things like that. And those are the fossil remnants of the little creatures. And I believe a lot of them, since a lot of those look like kind of zippery things, are brachiopod shells, so like a death plate of some brachiopods. But we will toss it underneath the microscope and find out what it is made of, what sorts of things are actually going on. Isn't that, it's really crazy as far as it's the wave that thing, the cracked mud. So if you've been to, like even like a dry place where the top of the mud starts to crack, it is somewhat interestingly geometric at times, very pleasingly. And I believe this is one of the things that he was most excited to send me, and he believed that this was a blue crinoid stem. And I am not in any position to offer any other type of suggestion as to what it is, unless you guys have some knowledge in this area that might lead you to believe that this is something other than that. But it's very segmented looking, and what a neat texture. Here's your overall look at it. I can't believe, if I had this on my land, I'd be doing yard work all of the time. You would have me like, it would be very difficult to stop rock hounding on my land and like go in and do something in my studio. So, and you can see, like, again, there's a lot of yellow to this camera tonight, and I apologize for that, but this is, coming across kind of blue-gray. It's actually bluer looking in person. And so that's a really, really neat specimen. I will not be cutting that because it's just cool. And let's see. And can you believe it? He didn't buy anything. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, you ended up buying some of Mehmet's beads. But like I said, I will definitely pitch in to help you there, to have like, bought some of his beads on paper. And let's see. We've got some cool suggestion here from Rufotris, a sale price, and yeah, you can have your home version of Microzone, and then you could come on and we could play dueling microscopes together. Rufotris and anybody else who wants to. Hey, Cynthia, you want to come on to the Microzone and play some micro rock hounding? But seriously, this actually brings up a great point. And I would love to cover this really quick. Now, Ken was talking about how he got a bit of a runaround with one of his microscopes, if not a few of them, and that he feels like it actually might have even come with some malware. And so I thought like I would just touch upon this really quick. If you can buy your microscope from one of the dealers, like Amscope is so trustable that when you get that microscope, if there's anything wrong with it, then of course they're going to have your back. But plus, they're not going to sell you something that's got like some janky software that goes with it, and that's going to throw you under the bus as far as your computer dying or anything like that. I mean, so far I've gotten all of my microscopes from Amscope, and I'm not saying that you need to buy from them necessarily, but buy from the actual maker of the microscope, and hopefully it's a name that you would trust to not go out of oh, thank you for the bead fund. Thank you, Bob. We can do it. we're gonna help out Kyle and Mehmet. I feel so bad about that, and so thank you so much, Bob, from the bottom of our hearts and from the beauty of Mammut's beads. I really appreciate your generosity there. I know that if we were all over on the Kyle stream, that we'd all be pushing that in, and so that'll go to that, Bob. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure that if you want to go over to Kyle's, if you've got his PayPal or whatever, you can help him out that way directly too. I'm not asking you to do anything, but I'm just saying that, like, if the idea crossed your mind or your heart, then there's probably some things that you could do there and get that directly to World of Rockhounds, and that way also, nothing comes out of it. And so awesome. Thank you so much, Bob. Really appreciate that. And I think that these are the only lastliest guys that we had on in the box, and they're both gorgeous horns that have some really nice. I mean, you can hear them. They've got like this ASMR of like silicateness. Absolutely fabulous box of horn corals and some other interesting tidbits, and that's exactly what he called it. It was along with the horn coral segments, have enclosed a mystery yellow hagstone with unknown fossil imprints, and so that really is a mystery that we could help crack right here on the live stream together. We're going to look at that underneath the fossil or the microscope next. Some chert tiles from my creek and crispy crinoid nut bar. Enjoy. And so yeah, really cool box from Mr. From Mr. Blind Squirrel Rocks right there. And so we are going to get that the microscope going, and I'll do the mystery fossil first, and then we'll go on from there. And you know what, Zen? I'm not entirely sure that those are crab fossils. Like, got some crab goggles on, big time. And I've been trying to train my eyes to know what to look for when it comes to crabs, and I don't think I have any here. We could also look and see if there are any in that record of time from that area. I did look at the region, and what was supposed to be in the fossil record pretty much were these oceanic shell fossils and corals. And so we have the brachiopods and the horn corals and the litho, whatever those guys were, and that fantastic other thing that I got the phonetic for that is already passed through my my brain. And let's see. Let's go ahead and get this microscope going. And so I'm gonna get her in the vise, and we can do this. Everybody, beverage up. If you are needing to hit your coffee, your iced tea, your suds, whatever Steinkerns you have. This is a good time. I'm gonna hit mine. I think I need some more of this. Cheers. All right. And some Boop and Steinkern, Chris. Little of that. And Bob's Rocks needs some refill too. Yeah, this is a great time since we're just transitioning over to the microscope. And I'm just going to get this guy, whoa, like properly in the vise and then into focus before I bring you guys in. Let's do that. No, this is like, this chert is so slippery that like the vise is a bit confounded with it, which is kind of cool. And I'm doing this guy first because I don't believe that it's got any kind of interest as far as the UV goes, since it's just chert and a trace fossil. And so we'll hit it just in case for giggles, but I thought like it would be a good place to start, like I said. And boy, that hue is way over to the red side. So I'm also going to fiddle faddle with that really quick. Meanwhile, it looks like that strawberry that I wanted, and look at those deep impressions. So if this is a trace fossil, imagine that this rock was actually oozing into the texture, and so the texture would, you know, be going back into that fossil. So they would be kind of almost like this this fishnet kind of pattern with a with windows that go down into itself as opposed to jutting out from its skin, if that made any sense. And so let me get the hue adjusted so that this looks a little bit more like what it is. Yeah, don't know how that got all the way over there, but that's looking a lot better. So this is kind of more of like a yellow orange chert, kind of mustardy. And so this right now we're out pretty far, and so we're only at like say maybe 10-15x or so. And let's see, looking, is that a flamingo leg? Right, that's some nice gams you got there. Now we can take this guy down. And so I'm just going through the field of view because, like I said, this has got like these tiny, tiny little druzies to it. And so I'm going to get a little bit closer. You're starting to see some of the gruzy dristles. And a big crystal down there, which looks like maybe it's even just sand, but like you can see how much of that just grew around the outside. What would have been maybe the tops of whatever fossil this was that wore out from this trace fossil. The tops of the ridges, which are the bottoms of these little valleys for these nubbinses that we're looking at. I could probably bring this into the center, which would be a little bit more interesting, especially since we're going to be zooming in. And move that up a little bit so we zoom in on that crystal, because that's kind of interesting too. And so this is a mystery fossil, if other than a flamingo leg or an ammonite fossil or a pine cone. Do we have any other guesses? I think that the pine cone one is interesting, other than the fact that this seems like it was probably something that was a stalk. you know, like a plant coral style stock of some kind. And so if that helps, because there were two of them, one of them making the hagstone, which is the through and through part, and this one kind of laid out, and it seems fairly this was that it would have gone on for longer, because you know there's the termination of one side, and you can see the druzy really good there. And then as we come through here, we're just following it up, and it looks like it kind of got like bulby there, but then, you know, pretty consistent. And there's the termination of it on that side. And so I would imagine that that probably went on for some period of time, like that was a long reed type structure, as opposed to something short. But I could be wrong. I might be leading the witness or something. But yeah, that's pretty neat. Probably want a screenshot of that, and that'll get rid of our little green bar for a minute. And somebody was asking me about the green, our little focus box. And what that just does help me to do is it will do some auto adjusting as far as the exposure goes, and we can get rid of it and we can still cruise around. But like again, as you move in, a lot of times, you know, stuff is going to get darker, and if we had auto exposure on, then it would go ahead and lighten it as we go along. But this isn't so bad. And there's our little, you know, is it like a little sand crystal, or did that grow there? Who knows? But you can see that the druzy is definitely shining up at you. And again, we're seeing like an even better view of what that texture portends. Plant root. That's a good one. And Dan the Rockman, welcome in. And Kyle, I will turn this car around. Don't make me go live. Let's go live, Kyle. You definitely should go live. Are you kidding me? I like that, the plant root. And Boot votes for chicken toe. I like that as well. And does my scope have a negative option? I'm sure that if I wanted to search around, that I could do a negative. And yeah, I would believe so. You know, it's run by a program that gives me a lot of different options. I just haven't used it. And so probably would be more than I'd want to try to dig around for right at this exact moment in time. But do you think that that would help? I could take some negative pictures and post them up on the Discord. Let me know, because that sounds like a fun challenge for me to go find the negative and to do it. I've played around, like when I first got the scope, I played around with some of the options on the software, and I'll admit, you know, I just then started to get my work done, like looking at the pretties with you guys, but you know, using it for gem. You know, looking through the viability of some of the gems for faceting, and then doing some setting, and you know, all that kind of good stuff. And so I'm going to take another picture because I think that this is pretty darn cool. And again, if I'm going to be doing something on the Discord, then it also is really nice to have some references, you know, from the reality of it to also what it looks like in the negative. I like that. Whatever it was, it had psoriasis. Thank you, Mr. Turtle Montana, and welcome. And good to see you. And Rufo made it to the charger. Good. I hate that when you find out when it's just too late, like you watch your phone die in your hand. No, come back. Wheat kernels. That's an interesting suggestion. I'm thinking that this is probably along with the coral, and so it's probably something that was in the water. Petrified Petrified corn cob, says Silverback. Good to see you, Silverback. Excellent. We saw one of your Aussie brothers here earlier on the live stream. It seems as though Jesse has actually permeated the USA borders and is running rampant in Montana someplace with Mr. Theo. So good to see you, Silverback, though. And I like petrified corn cob. It definitely looks like it could be that if it was the other way around. Again, this is like an impression into as opposed to something that is in the positive. And monochromatic is fun. I think I do have a grayscale option like in my little toolbar that's right here. Let me see really quick. And we shall belabor this not terribly too long. Dun, 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 dun. Blam. So there's your grayscale for y'all. See, that was easy. I'm pretty sure I could find like, you know, a the you know, negative, but I think it would take a little bit longer. This one just has it on the color drop down. Yes, please. That is a trip to make it look like a positive, and that might help with the ID, says Cynthia. 110% going to do that. All right, thank you. The gauntlet has been thrown, and so we'll do that tonight, but probably after the live. Sesame seed coprolite. Do sesame seeds pass like corn? Whoops. Sorry. And alas, we digress. That is something that I didn't know about prehistoric sesame seeds or coprolite. And we will yeah, we do love all the fossils for sure. He has escaped the southern colony, yes. But for how long? And let's go ahead and dive in the rest of the way. And I'm going to bring up our exposure again for this. And so that there we go. Wow, look at that. And so we're starting to see some interesting even like almost fortification areas in those little nubs that are coming up at us that were flowing into the fossil void, and they almost look like octopus tentacles, you know. I'll put them in the exposure box. Like those guys have rings. And so let me get rid of the box and we'll take a picture, and I'll include that for what we're looking at over on the Discord later. And we will definitely get that negative for you. And I think we're almost all the way in. Let's finish this journey. I mean, now you can really see the heavy duty salting of that druzy crystalness. And that's not sand sitting there. That one grain might be that little crystal that's up towards the left-hand side. But everybody else, that's, you know, all the other glimmeries that we have here, that's all druzy. And, you know, it was just fascinating to be looking at it and have those even glitter from what looked like a very plain looking trace fossil at first. And so highly decorated, highly beautiful fossil that we have going on here that we need an identification on. So if you, this is kind of like the milk carton, guys, you know, if you recognize this coral fossil, then definitely share with us all. We'd love to know. And so we're going to go ahead and get that guy on the we'll change our specimen to let's see, let's go to the stromatolite, the stromatolitic guy, since we've got the jaws open pretty wide on our vise, and then we'll move inward. And we'll bring this guy back out. I hope everybody's staying well hydrated And it looks like we could shove some mineral tack in there and get an impression. I like that to make the positive out of the negative. I love that idea. Yeah, I might actually do that as well. Maybe put some mineral oil in there first so that the stuff doesn't, like the tack doesn't stick. But then I've got a fair amount of museum putty running around in here. So yeah, I really like that. We could make a 3-dimensional one. If I get to that tonight, then I'll do it. And then we have hey, did I say hello, William? Welcome in, Deb. I forget those worms that lived before the great anomaly in shallow seas. And you should know this. Oh, okay, yeah. Find out what that is, because oh my gosh, if we had like some kind of a fossil worm, that would be neat. Although those are really hard to come by. Like I have a fossil worm in one of my pieces of Baltic amber that I got from Yarrick. Fascinating, because again, soft tissue things don't usually be included in the fossil record. They're very rare. So you see sometimes the salamanders and things like that, like a piece of that will get stuck in an amber and get fossilized. It's just amazing. And Jenny, we don't know if it's a pine cone, but I'm doubting it, because it was from a marine chert fossil layer. And so I'm thinking it's probably also some kind of marine fossil. So that might help put your brain in the right context for mystery solving. And Allison says, clearly it's fossilized corn chowder. Right? I mean, it's the right color for sure. And those like the little itty bitty baby corns that you get in the Chinese food. I love those so much. Um, yes, that's what it is for sure. And are you sure it's a fossil about something that fell out of the kitty litter? you know, like you'd have to ask Blind Squirrel Rocks, like maybe he's getting the last laugh on us all. And Cynthia agrees, like that's a fine idea. I should really do that. You know, like I'm having like a whole unfurling of like possibilities that could happen with that. And then we could like sand cast it and have like a casting of our fossil. She's tempted. That would make a great maker's challenge, actually, although I've already done sand casting for the maker's challenge, so I guess not. Oh, fruit splash cherry ginger ale sounds so good. Oh my gosh, grandmothers of hydrothermal vent tube worms. That sounds about right? Right? Yeah, I like it. Okay, so let's get this back up here, and horribly overexposed. Oh my goodness. Somebody do something quick. This is terrible, out of control. Let's do that thing. There we go. All right, so that's what we're really looking at. Remember this guy? This stromatolitic thing? Page 1004 in the dictionary. And let's bring that into focus. That's pretty crispy. And you can see this is has some druzy filled yumminess. Now, those of you who have lots of stromatolites and that have looked at your stromatolites underneath the microscope, how many of those actually do you get any cellular structure? We might be on a wild stromatolite chase here, that like, maybe that doesn't really exist. I don't know how these guys usually fossilize. If their little bits of body goodness fossilize. Whoa, she dropped it. Hold on. We'll fix it. Well, technically difficulties. Moved the vise and the whole thing fell apart. I just wanted to see around in this area because I think I'm seeing little cell droplet kind of looking guys. And so maybe that is the shape of their fossil. But I don't want to assume. So we're looking at it right now at about I don't know, 15x or so. And let me take this down. Sorry about that. So that you can see that better. And sterling silver fossil castings. Yes, I know, right? That's really tempting. Let's get closer. So are you seeing how like it looks like there's round grains that seem to be making up the little gloopy doops? I know that these are all really super technical terms. So if I've left anybody behind, it's because I got a PhD in making up words. But yeah, it looks like super teeny malto meal that's making this up. And so I'm wondering, is that how the stromatolites are? And I should catch up on the chat while I'm querying this. Let me get rid of the exposure bar so that you guys have a better view. And snap a picture. And what are we thinking? Are we thinking? Oh, cool. Okay, so we are having a conversation about that kind of spot. Similar to a feather duster worm, too, is the ones I'm thinking of, but my marine biology knowledge is a bit more today, less than 100 million years ago organisms. Which is possible, as far as like, I don't think he's going to have anything older than like that 300 million, but it doesn't mean that he does not have things that are younger than, it's something obviously to keep in mind, because he lives in an alluvial plain where stuff probably is getting mixed up a bit. And so it's not like he's digging stuff straight out of, say, a stratified cliff layer where he can go, okay, we're counting this many strata down and we're going directly into the source, like in a cliffside. So if that was making any sense as far as getting accurate dating on something, and Karen can drill them out and put gems in each chamber. Oh my gosh, because I don't have anything else to do. Yeah, right. But no, seriously, I was just talking to Dub earlier in the Discord about wanting to do some kind of needing to do some pave setting, which is when you see like a super cool ring or something that has the teeny weeny little zircons or diamonds or what have you, teeny weeny little stones that are set into, say, like the band. Sometimes they're flush set. So if you see no setting whatsoever and it's just like, the metal and like a diamond just sitting there practically on the surface, that's a flesh set. But if there's like teeny weeny little prongs, like a tiny little setting there, then that's a pave, and I need to practice those. And so actually I could make like a pave coral section. It would be so cool, actually. So yeah, not a bad idea after all. Spot. I like that. Yeah, interesting creatures to be sure. And thank you so much, Zen, for hanging out also, and thank you for the thank yous and all that great stuff. And Ulitic chert that you find in Minnesota. And thank you for coming, Eric the Cat. Good to see you. Yeah, I think that a lot of this is probably very connected as far as the Ulitic cherts and the stuff that he is finding there in Indiana. And symbiosis has most definitely always fascinated me as well. And so you're again talking about those wonderful fans that are happy living among the things that help them to be alive. And a stromatolite is made from blue-green algae, yeah, and so I'm just wondering, as far as like the algae forms that get lithified, petrified, you know, in this case, silicified, permineralized, however it is that the process is happening, does it make these little globules? Have you looked at stromatolite underneath the microscope much? I'm remiss. I haven't, and so I'm like asking if anybody knows if what we're looking at is the blue green algae being fancy in these little droplets that we're looking at. And we'll zoom in some more. I took down our exposure bar, so I'll go ahead and get that pumping so that we can see what we're looking at with some help. Okay, so this looks like dirty snow, but again, like snow even having like it's a sort of little globules, for lack of a better term. um y- you can maybe see like the tiny little sphericals that I'm talking about. There's some nice little pink ones up here, and so we'll stop here and we'll zoom in on these guys. I'll get them into the center of the exposure ball, and we'll zoom in on these guys. This don't eat yellow snow. And I don't know what's going on with the pink snow, but yeah, I'm just wondering if these are the forms that we're looking at, these little spheres, or if this was just the way that the silicates wanted to set up. So um, over towards that cave, you can see kind of the way that these spheres are setting up maybe better, because you can see the side, like the profile of those ones right there. And boy, that the exposure just wanted to go crazy on that, huh? So there, like that's what I kind of mean by stacked up uh, malto meal. And we can bring the exposure down a little bit on this. And oops, too far. Up a little bit. And so that gives us I think an idea of the terrain a little bit better. What are our thoughts here? Or did this, is this just, I think it's a fossil, but maybe it's not even fossil. Rocky Mountain Bears here. Good to see you. Could use a starfish leg to cast it. Yeah. um, a stromatophorid. I like that. That's a great word. I like that very, very much. And it looks like Rufotris is off. Thank you for hanging out. And what Bear said, yeah. And uh, Opie Rocks is here. Did I not see? Or you learned that from, what is it, Craig? Oops. What you gonna do with that leg? Just recently learned that word. Ah, yes, from OPE Rocks. Love it. Yeah, it's an awesome word. So definitely gonna have to do more research in this area. And then we can just go ahead and no, that's our 40x right there. I keep on saying that I'm going to put the other Bernil lens on, guys, and so we will be going from 40 to 90 in 6 seconds flat at some point. Like it's a whole nother lens for the next amount of magnification up. Maybe I'll just get another boom microscope, and so that we can just go from one to the other. In like Karen's fantasy world. Meanwhile, though, I'll just change the lens. And then some of these like thinner sections will, like I keep on also saying that we should put underneath the lab style microscope, and we will be able to look at them, at a much, much greater magnification. Probably anything more than 200 would be overkill, but we can go up to $1,000, I think, or $2,000 on that one. All right, so that is our stromatoloid, I think, with a big question mark. You're welcome to place your bets on that one. And so I think we'll go over to the chert zone next. And play with this guy who had that entire layer that looked like a busy street. And I'm wondering if we should get that wet. Oh, there goes that one. Remind me that's on the floor, guys. Sometimes we make it wet and we make it worse. So we'll look at it dry and see if it's doing anything for us. And then if it's not, then we'll make it wet instead. And Rocky Mountain Bear was looking at a dead starfish, and the texture looks like natural prongs if you were to cast it in silver. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, neat. Everything's yellow today. Look at it. I look like I've got jaundice. That is a really yellow light that I've got. Maybe we should change the setting on that. Let's see what happens. See, I think that's the blue one. That's better. That's a little bit more natural. Let's bring that down. There we go. That looks a little more normal. And yeah, I love that idea. Can you imagine doing like a jewelry casting of a starfish and using its natural prongs for the pave setting? Oh my goodness. Do you need me to send you some starfish legs? Because I mean, there are ones that are no more. I can't remember what the rules are about that though. Yeah, as far as starfish goes on the beach, we have them for sure. Just don't want to take any that are alive, of course. Oh, so interesting. And thank you very much. I'll be reviewing this like later and I'll be like, oh yeah, it's still there. It's kind of like the diamond in Theo's live stream. Like a weekend later, he finally goes and gets it. All right, so I think we have this guy underneath the scope, and we probably only have to deal with the exposure on that. And so let's go ahead and get that bad boy up on the stage and get this. Now, if you missed this the first time, I had some of these samples when Squirrel first sent me a box, and I absolutely went nuts. And I still need to do more work with them. But I think that, like, not only is that just super cool, because like that is such a busy death layer with so many crazy things happening. And we'll get in there and then we'll take a tour, like we'll go front to back. And I just thought, wow, I bet you it probably takes the polish, and it would be cool to make some specimens, but also to possibly make some jewelry out of. So I would love to wear some of this. Is so pretty. And much better on the late, right? We don't need jaundice, Karen. And so so this is the shirt that he gets. That, I mean, it's already so nicely planed that you're getting a super nice area in which to walk around with the microscope. The flatter something is, the easier it is to see underneath the microscope. I mean, look, you guys, we've got like all these little alien eyes staring back at us. This is nuts. I love this stuff so much. I could spend like a whole evening on this. And so we're diving, like we're at like, I don't know, 2025 mag right now. And what I mean by the little alien eyes is we've got like these little little big holes there that have like they are partitioned. And then we've got some alien eyes over here, like those guys. Like how wild is that? I just, it makes me think again about like maybe not these are not anymore shells that are just some say brachiopods or something like that. Like, what other kind of matter do we have here that died in this death plate? I mean, are these compressed corals, like coral, the little node beginnings, like the little babies, or I don't know. Does anybody know? Is it Labradorescence essenty, or are you seeing things? You're seeing things, but I did forget with our other guys that we put up there. Who have we had up there? I don't think anybody would have been black or UV lightable yet so far. I don't think so. Good. And so, but we should shine this. I don't think that this actually has a whole lot, but we will check it. Um, and then we'll go on to what I do know has some really nice UV ability. So look at these different colors. And again, look at those little the quality and size of all those little dots. And are they the all from one organism that just sort of got compressed, and we're seeing uh different parts of it, like as in the um structure of a tree, like the inside of a cross section of a tree or something like that, because some of these look very, very much like this guy. Let's see if I can get the cursor here. This row right here looks like xylem with cellular structure in it, and so does this over here. And so, is that what we're looking at? Or what? Because I'm again thinking that this is all marine stuff, but I don't know. I wasn't there when it fell into the muck and got tossed around. So here we are getting a little bit closer. I don't want to get too close before we try the UV on it, because I if I remember correctly, this doesn't do much, but I could be, again, it was quite the fever dream. So who knows what was going on last night. And I'm bringing the light in and turning the light off. So, this one's on though. That one goes off too. All right. And there's our black light, or our UV light. Sherry, got to get the vernacular right. Okay, bring this back into focus. And it's not terribly hot. And we can sort of cruise around a little bit, but it's a little hotter over here. It could be dust. Oh, it's in there. So those are the structures of something that have some hotness to them. And bringing it back. Our little Morse code dots, like, I guess they're nominally hot. Those guys up there in the left quadrant doing some fairly nice shining, but not super extra double. I'm imagining if I had like a different the low, that this might have some more activity. There, that one's kind of neat. Move this over and get that back into, whoops, carry again. It's rigged with tape, you guys. So it's got its own mobility a little bit. So sorry if it's got like a little, it starts off nice and then it starts to sag a little bit. That's absolutely happening. There we go. That's kind of neat. I really like that structure too. What are you? It almost looks like the lips of a brachiopod or something. Let's see. Huh. All right. I'm hearing myself on my phone. Can you guys hear that? There's like a little echo. And it does look like a centipede. Let me see if I can get rid of that. I don't think it's going to go away. But I don't think we really need that anymore. Okay. So hold on. There we go. Yeah, it does look a whole bunch like a centipede. That is really cool. I'm going to take a picture of that really quick, guys, and then we'll take a walk around in normal light and have a look. See, it is just so cool in regular light. I love that so much. And so we'll take her down for a second because you guys, I'd blow your eyes. I'll just blow your eyes out. And we'll kill that. And get that back to the stage. That's the picture. And I might blow your eyes out anyway. Hold on. Oh, it's stuck on the picture. Okay, there we go. All right. And so here's our centipede in real life. Now, how cool is that? Look at that. Hello, beautiful. Who are you? Who is that even? Does anybody want to guess? That is so crazy. I mean, I'm going to probably have to contact a university in the area and get some help because, like, this inquiry mind must know. That is such an interesting structure, to be sure. A spiny sea urchin. Wouldn't that be the neatest thing ever? Space centipede. Yep. Terrible stitches. Yes, I hear that as well. Not hearing the echo on your end. Very cool. Look like a row of chigger bites, right? Oh my gosh, like outer space. You guys, we're all on the same page with this. How interesting is this? The whole landscape of the cross section of this absolutely blows my mind. And so we can go for a little walk. So that's the edge, and you can see that these little alien faces, like those ones in the second row that like are beaded together like a necklace. They seem to have their own sort of strata, right? Because we've got, let's see, I should do that. So here's the cursor. We've got this guy that is so interesting. That is our centipede. And then we have this line here. And then we have this line here. And then we have this line here. And then we have a line up top, actually, where it broke off. What was going on? And I mean, there's some interesting shrapnel down underneath it. But nothing all that clear. Nothing as clear as like our fabulous little centipede guy. I mean, how cool. All right, so we're not quite in as far as we can go. So we'll go ahead and magnify our centipede guy before we take a walk on the rest of the stone, because I want to get closer. And I bet you guys want to get closer too. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom in and see all these weird sections that happen. Okay, so that is full mag. That's at 40x. This one probably would be even more interesting with our good heavier duty magnification. Might have to bring this guy back for a command performance with the 40 to 90. And then I want to slice this particular piece so that we have some sections that we can put underneath the powerful microscope. Look at that. What is going on there? So, whoops. Ha I was going to take a picture, but I don't want to take a picture of myself. I want to take a picture of this. There we go. I'll post that up on the Discord, and we can make our guesses, and you can do whatever research that you might be compelled to do too. All of our minds are better than mine. It does look like a cave drawing, doesn't it, Kyle? Acclaim? Oh, Kyle, do you want this? If you're talking about this particular subject, this little guy, I will give it to you. I could cut a different one. This one's so neat, huh? Kyle needs a microscope as well. And I think that you could have so much fun with all the different things. So if you see, like, these things are made of yet smaller bits. And so I think we're still all the way zoomed in. Yeah. But you can see in that dark puddle there that it's made of a bunch of little bits and eyeballs and alien heads. And so there's a whole nother level to the interest under the microscope for these guys. And it does look like perhaps some of the matrix material around them might have some interesting stuff on a much smaller level too. And I'm imagining that we have, some forums, some diatoms and things like that going on. Starfish leg. We are high centered on the starfish leg. So cruising. So those little chunklets there that are sort of gray blue, like those sort of remind me of the cross section of shells when you get them in matrix material, say like at the beach. And so that sounds like that's what that could be. Let's like cruise in on this. What's that little eyeball thing? What's that guy? Who are you and why are you here? And I'm going to get rid of the exposure box so that you guys can see like this weird oolite or orb or piece of coral. Like, I'm wondering if these are like maybe coral seeds. Like, help me out with the proper word. There's a super good word. Use your words, Karen. That guy. It looks like maybe it's a teeny weeny crinoid, because it looks like it's got like a starish center. And I don't know that I can get much. It's hard to focus sometimes when you're in this far and your hand is on the same desk as the microscope, because it bounces around a little bit. My dad actually, he was like, you need like a stone, like a marble surface that isn't connected to you in any way, so that you don't get any bounce when you're trying to get either shots or get a good look at your specimen. So I'm gonna have to build a laboratory for this business, just so that I can have the proper setup. My dad, like, engineer approved. Yeah, we are still going at it, Kurt. We're just having a look at this crazy guy. And I liked this business over here too. It was kind of like our alien faces, but there's more aliens in the little pods. And so that's so interesting. What little bodies are we looking at there? Are those little cells with you know, like I don't even know, like the delivery system. Are we looking up the the straws of the xylem of a coral, or I don't even know. Polyps. Thank you so much. And yes, diatoms are such a fun word. Um, yeah, coral spawn. Absolutely. A lonely little crinoid baby. Yeah, that's what I was totally thinking. And yeah, actually, Kyle said that it looked like petroglyphs to him too, like cave paintings and whatnot. It definitely does. These guys are so cool. So we'll cruise on over here, and you can see like they are so regular, like dot 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 dot, and some smaller little guys there that would need a little bit more magnification to look at. And they're fantastically blue. They really are blue too. I mean, they're every bit if not more blue than what you're seeing in under the microscope here. And I love that little square druzy chamber times two that's up there. How cool are those little guys? A little piece of hair hanging out there too. That's neat. It looks like a great big smile, actually. Uh-oh, gonna need to take a picture of that. Little square goggles with a big smile. Um, oh, am I lucid dreaming right now, you guys? Are we all having like it looks like a spinal cord. It totally does. Having one of those moments. Could they be buried centipedes? So I don't see why not, but and egg chains. Ooh, Rocky. Hey there, Tomcat Josh. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Tilly Spinal, Jenny. Yeah, all these things are such good possibilities. What are we even looking at? I mean, it's just wild. It's just wild and crazy, guys. All right, so get this bad boy back up on here live, and we're gonna do a pan out and shift. And yeah, what's that? That, like, seriously, that right there does look like a tentacle hanging out. Wait, look at that. It's got like um get my cursor on here, like some kind of node or polyp, 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 polyp. And then what's this business going on here? Like, what is it? And so we're gonna dive in and get some closeness to that, because that underneath is really interesting too. But like that looks artistically drawn, doesn't it? Like it looks like an octopus tentacle to me. That's wild. I should have had the dreamy music going on, huh? You guys blowing it. And yeah, that is just so cool. Looking like everybody's slap happy tonight. All right. Rocky, we all probably should be trying to get some sleep. All of us and Rookie as well. Okay, so I got to show you this thing down here, and then we'll move to the last subject. And so look at that little guy. It almost looks like like a little paramecium or something. Sorry, I'm trying to get it centered. I mean, how wild is that little guy? I think we're all the way in. No, we're not. We can take a much closer look. Let's go all the way in and look at that guy. And then we have some neat forts right there down below that, but we're going to go over here and sharpen that and take a picture and get rid of our exposure box. Yeah, look at that. What are you? And again, if anybody has some suggestions, it's like a microscopic Bigfoot impression. I just don't know, but I really, really like this that in there. I did like a pretty cool model of a paramecium when I was in school, and it just reminds me of the bits and pieces that you'd find in one, but it's too big to be that. It's still crazy cool. And it looks like Kurt is going to sleep as well. Very, very nice. Thulu returns, right? Yeah, like don't make it wet, Karen. You'll release the Kraken. And how much magnification is this? This is only at 40x, and so it's kind of gigantic to be a microorganism. Oh no, I'll be up for hours. Oh, good. Yeah, this is awfully early for either of us to be going to bed, right? That is a sweet piece. Yeah, I agree. Um, and we'll see you soon, Jenny. Thank you for participating in this craziness of a live tonight. And cheers, Silverback. Ancient giant water bear. Yeah, I'll go with that. um, yeah, got it. Yeah, I think that some people are having to check out. It's late on the Pacific Coast side. If you're an early sleeper, and so those of you who are Central or Eastern are probably really, really abundantly ready for to go to bed, says Thor. Um, and I don't mean the mythological one. I mean the horror movie one. Okay, so we're gonna get the very last of the last. Look, it's starting to get dark. It's that time of year where we actually start having like UV time available on the Friday Night Live if we go long enough and get started late enough. Goodness, we are going long. The last thing that I'm going to put up here is going to be one of the horn coral fossils. Oh, is that the one that I ditched off the side that I wanted to put on here? Ah, I think it was. Or was it this guy that I wanted to put on? There you are. Yeah, this one's neat. So this one is the background. Oh, that's awfully bright. It's frying it. You can't see, but there's druzy. Take my word for it. We'll have a look. But there's like druzy pockets in this one, and there's some pretty neat visible like cellular structure or the structure of the coral. So see if I can't get that in there in the vise. Okay, not perfect, but you guys are trained to not need perfection from me. Right? Don't expect perfection. So I was snapped on the last picture. So here's where we are now, and we will crispen our vantage here and look at how, like, for one thing, you've got the druzy on this side smiling up at you, but we've got some really, really neat structure that is evident, and it is blue. It is blue. And I love that. And I definitely will be working on some polishing and that sort of thing. But I like how you can, if you're watching the different growth layers, you can kind of see ring, 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 and then it's sort of latticey stuff kind of coming up through. Those kind of neat. Whoa, those chambers, those beautiful chambers. Let me get this back. That wasn't in there very good, and so therefore. I'm going to have to be careful. It doesn't want to hold on to this one very, very much. And so there you have that. And we're going to zoom in so that you can look at some of those crystally chambers. This one's so silicified. It's just delicious. And so there's that. Sleep is a waste of time. There's so much stuff that can be done, right? It's so hard to stop. And so hopefully nobody's like doing anything anything dangerous without, like, with sleep deprivation, but boy, I sure do have a hard time not like just keep on going. And so that's going to be my deal today, because I slept so long just not feeling well. Okay, so let's get this bad boy under the black light. And so we'll turn that off. It all goes dark. We'll turn that on. And this is really fun, actually, because some parts of it fry way more than other parts of it, as you can see. And so that's quite the fun light show. And I think I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe a little bit more exposure. Lighten that up a little bit so that we see a little bit more terrain than what is being offered. And we'll just cruise a little bit. But I think that's so pretty. And again, there should be like some kind of trippy music going on, right? And these pockets just are shouting. Look at that. They are just on fire. Get that a little bit better in focus. That's where I spilled my nail polish. When looking at rocks under the microscope, do I prefer the specimens polished or rough? This is a great question. I prefer them polished. They can catch reflection, but you can always try angles with your microscope that will help with that. But you're much more likely to, especially if it's a polished thing that can be flat, because topography is difficult to deal with when doing the microscopy, especially if you're trying to move around like I am right now. We've got different heights and valleys to the terrain of this rock, and so stuff goes out of focus. Whereas we could travel across a slab and just enjoy the whole thing without missing much, because it's flat and already to look at. That's just spectaculars. I love it. And so trying to get more of that in focus. We'll take a little picture because I just love that. So pretty. Who'd have known this stuff could be so nice looking. And we'll cruise a little bit more because there's whoa, and she dropped it again. Let's stay right there. Put it back. There we go. This reminds me of a hypothesis I'm working on. Okay, let's bring that up. Can tunicates fossilize like that? I need books. The paper I read online says they were mainly soft tissue and couldn't be preserved this well. But, yeah, are there people that you can talk to? Like, there's so much stuff that doesn't get published that people are working on, but there's just not funds, or somebody can't spend the time. But in real time they could talk to you about these things that they're seeing. And a lot of people like that might have gigs at the universities, might have a lab or something. I would definitely. Oh, Tomcat Josh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I would talk to somebody about that if you can. See if a local department that you are near would have somebody that you can talk to. It seems like a lot of the people that are academics, when you ask a fairly pointed and interesting question, would love to go on and on for hours sometimes about, like, wow, you want to hear about this? This is great. Like, let's talk. So I would say, check it out. Thank you, Tomcat Josh. We're gifted memberships, people. That's fabulous. Welcome to the tribe. I can't see who got that, but congratulations to whoever did end up getting those. And thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your generosity, Tomcat Josh. You're always so sweet to everybody. There's 2 of them. Boom. So I think that's fabulous. Thanks. We've got more people joining the ozone. Oh my gosh. And it looks like Kurt might have gotten one. That's so cool. Josh rocks big time. I agree with you 100%, Jennifer. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for that. And yeah, like this just goes on and on. You know, if you guys would be interested, I don't know, maybe on the membership side or something like that, I could just do a music and like let's just gaze at insanely beautiful things. And as we go along, maybe you guys could just out of maybe a lineup or something like that, we could just quietly go through some really cool specimens of things and look at them both under regular normal light and then check out what's going on with the UV as well. And so let me know if that's something that you guys might enjoy, and we can put that onto the schedule because, you know, this is stuff that I do anyway. You know, like you just be hanging out in the studio with me doing the stuff that I'm doing anyway. Like I'm trying to, a lot of topography here, and I just think it's interesting how detailed it is back there, and it sections off and then gets really wild in the foreground. That's neat. And I think that this transition down here was really cool. And maybe, I wonder if I can get a little bit, whoa, that was not good. Look at how wild that is. So wild. Move that up. Yeah, I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm just messing it up. So maybe I'm just going to get that in focus and take a picture. And that I also like, I would just go slow, y'all. And maybe we just savor everything for an adventure like that. Okay. Next album cover, right on. Oh, Mom made it. Somebody yodeling into the fjords finally like got my mom on the fjordophone. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're here, Mom. We've just been kind of looking at a bunch of stuff under the microscope. We got some horn corals and some pretty neat objects. We'll be looking at more of that in the near future. And it looks like Angie also got something, and awesome. And people are remembering things, and then no, go on. Wow, that needs to come down. No, I'm getting burned out, but it's because that sun went down. Isn't that crazy? We took the sun down here at the beach, guys. That's how long we went. So Mom, you just slid into the end, but I'm so glad that you were able to make it, and you've got a lot that you get to go back and watch for sure. We've been going on for a while. And so definitely thank you guys all for coming tonight. And thanks for the cameo from Theo and Rookie Rock Hounding. I don't know if you guys missed that, but anybody who did, Rookie is here in the United States. So if you felt like the disruption of the force, that was what that was. So very cool that he gets to be here and running around with Theo right now. They did a little live segment from the from the Yellowstone, it looked like. And so they've been bee bopping and all that kind of stuff. And uh, again, I want to thank you guys for all of your wonderful suggestions as far as when you get the migraine headaches. I know my mom has some of those too. She definitely suffered when I was a kid. Boop to you, Chris. Thank you for hanging out. And thanks to the other Chris for hanging out, and Kurt and Tomcat and Cheryl and Melissa. I hope that you were working and getting a whole bunch of fun stuff done. And Jennifer and Jenny. And did I say Spot already? And Sandmaker is here, Randy. Awesome. And we've got some things to cut. I promise that we're going to cut some of those silicified horn coral segments, and I've got some other very cool of those chert specimen pieces. And since Kyle wants the one that I showed tonight, I think Kyle gets the one that I showed tonight. And so we'll cut one and we'll look at that underneath the microscope. If you guys have any other questions about microscopy, what microscope to get, would like to talk to somebody about, some of the different things, like how Kurt just asked the question about whether or not I liked it polished, or I'd like to look at something rough. I mean, some specimens are better rough. Like if you're going to be looking at crystal growth and stuff like that, you definitely love to see it rough and see all of the growth patterns and things like that, like those the beautiful tourmaline shoral that Melissa shared with us last weekend. If you want to ask more questions, and Cynthia is there, and we have other folks that are knowledgeable, you can ask them in the Discord in the microscope section, and that is anything magnified. And so even if you have a zoom on your camera or something like that, you can play along in that playpen along with us, and it's a good time. And so definitely come and play in the Discord with us. And thank you so much, Kurt, for this. Remember to like before you leave. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all of you for everything that you do. Just showing up is fantastic. It's always a blast hanging out with you guys. And Melissa agrees. Thank you, Rocky, for being here. And I love your speculations. Let's talk more about that as well. Maybe in the science department, we can start some conversations like that. I would love that. And he flew through a wormhole back in time. When he wakes up, he'll be back to the future. Yeah. Ricky definitely did. That was like 2 days of travel to get here a few hours before he left. So crazy. And thank you, Jennifer. And Bonnie, thank you for coming and for enjoying the beautiful show. I really appreciate you. And everybody who was here earlier, like James and Jeff and Vicky, like I said before, Theo and Jesse and Kyle, all y'all, I love you. Steinkerns to you, and hopefully you're migraine free and you're healthy and you're getting ready for a marvelous rock hounding weekend. And if you don't have rock hounding in your weekend going, then hound your own collection and give some of those rocks that you have already some love. Maybe look at them with the magnification on your phone and share them with us. We would love to see it. So we'll see a bunch of you over the course of the weekend. I will be doing more lives over the weekend because I got a lot of work to do, and I'm going to bring some of you guys along. So we'll see you in the lives. Go watch the ones that are sure to happen from Rufotris and from hopefully Cheryl and maybe Rocky and Jeff and some more from Kurt. I'm glad your finger is okay. You guys have to go check out the short he made from the little explosion from the petrified wood that happened. That was very exciting, and I'm glad that you're okay. Sawing can be crazy. Maybe some more from Tomcat. Anybody who's doing any of live streams, feel free to put it into the chat bar while we're running the credits. And John, I hope that you're getting your technology together. We miss you. And so with that, we'll bid you adieu, and we'll go ahead and throw on the credits. Cheers. Are we alive, everybody? Are you here? Am I here? Man, we can't hear me. Let's start over again. Are you here? Am I here? Man, we can't hear me. Let's start over again.